And today I want to talk about the idea and the ideology of comparing yourself, especially being in the modeling industry. So I have been modeling for the past 4 years, and I feel like, especially within the beginning of my career, I was heavily comparing myself, and not in a hater type of way, thank God, but more in an admiration type of way, and just asking God, like, when is it going to be my time? Mind you, some of these models that I've talked to, some of these girls have been modeling for 8 years, 10 years, 20 years, like for decades. And because when I did first start modeling, it took a minute for me to book my first job. I think it took maybe like 5 or 6 months. And then I got signed in New York. And then from there on, it just started taking off. However, I feel like a lot of times when things are fast, when things are rushed, I feel like as people, and especially for myself, I got so caught up in I didn't savor that moment. And it wasn't that I wasn't grateful. It was just that everything was happening so fast. I was 22 at the time. So this is the life. This is great. And then all of a sudden, when that momentum stops, I started thinking, okay, well, what's wrong with me? What did I do? So when it came to modeling, especially with social media, since that's such a huge part of our jobs now, I didn't really believe it when I was younger. But now that I'm a bit older, mature, and wiser, I understand that social media is a job. It's not only in content creation, but for models, it's behind the scenes work. It's some models are getting paid top dollar to just post them in fashion, like in different fashion brands, period. So social media will always be a part of the job when it comes to being a model. And when I would look on social media, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, I would be like, damn, God, why am I not where they are? And again, it wasn't from like a hater point. It was more so from, God, I've been putting in the work. I've been sacrificing. I've been doing this. I've been doing that. Why have I not reached the peak of my pinnacle yet? And I had to stop myself because I had to really look at how far I came. First of all, I'm from East Atlanta. And if you know anything about East Atlanta, it's the fucking hood. So I came from very, very impoverished circumstances, very, very poor, low income. And I'm signed to two or three of the biggest modeling agencies in the world. Some people are still praying to work with some of the clients and brands that I've worked with. So first of all, I had to be grateful. And it wasn't that I wasn't grateful before. It was more or less like, damn, I'm putting in all the work. Where are my results? And I feel like slow and steady wins the race. And RIP to Nipsey, but it's a marathon, not a race. So the more and more that I begin to understand how to be grateful, how to understand that everything good does not come fast, and also to understand that just because it looks good on the outside does not mean that the experience or the time is good. And what I mean by that is that social media, as much as it is good and it can be good if used purposefully, social media has the tendency and the power, the people that use social media have the tendency and the power to make the optics look good, meaning that somebody could be getting the world and in turn be going through hell just to get there. And I don't want that. I promised myself a long time ago I would keep my integrity and I would keep my morale, no matter how long I'm modeling, no matter how long my career is. I would always keep my integrity and remember where I came from, because at the end of the day, God put me in this position, not a human being, not any of that. God put me in this position, and God enabled those people to put me in this position that I'm in. And when I think about it like that, when it comes from a comparison thing, it's just like, I am not them. They are not me. No one is better than someone else. And everyone has their own experiences. So it's like, why compare? What is there to compare? That's like comparing apples to oranges. One is no better than the other. Certain people just have certain tastes for different things, and that's more than okay. Getting back on my spiritual route, getting more in tune with God, getting more in tune with myself, I just began to understand that literally everything happens the way it's supposed to happen for a reason. Some things I still can't understand, or I'm still learning and working to understand, but literally everything happens for a reason. And it's okay to not understand that reason either, because a lot of things that I've experienced in my modeling career, for instance, I moved to California at 22, turning 23. And when I got there, I booked no work. And I was so lost. I was comparing myself again, hopping on social media. I'm like, what is wrong with me? Am I doing something? Do I need to change my look? Like, what is going on? I feel like when something goes wrong in our life, to our first instance is to blame ourselves. And a lot of the times when things happen or things go wrong that's outside of our control, or that's outside of our choices, has nothing to do with us. Has nothing to do with us. Has nothing to do with you. It's everything is outside of you. And when it comes to the modeling industry, if you are moving with pure intentions, if you are genuine, if you are showing up for yourself and representing yourself, the brand, the agency, and the client to the best of your ability, and you're not getting booked, it has nothing to do with you. It's more about what's going on in society revolving the modeling industry. And at the big age of 25, I'm also beginning to understand that as well. This year has been slow for me. I am not going to lie. And moving to New York, um, in the midst of this, I'm thinking like, okay, everything's going to take off, boom, boom, boom. And don't get me wrong, I've gotten options, I've gotten castings, I've gotten really, really cool opportunities to just step foot in the room. And sometimes just being grateful to just be in the room is really all you need, in a sense, to where you can actually accept and move through what is happening and what's going on, and to understand how far you've come through your journey. There are some models that are still praying to enter those doors. There are some models who are still praying and wishing and hoping that they move to Cali, wishing and hoping that they move to New York. So just again, understanding how far I've come and understanding my own journey, and understanding that I am, even though it may not feel like it right now, even though I have my own personal things going on in my life that I'm still trying to heal through and work on, I am still in a very fortunate position, because I prayed, I used to pray that I would be here 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 years ago when I was a child. And I think too, just from being, I guess, what is it, a blossom, a blooming, a ugly duckling. I don't want to say that, because I don't feel like anyone's ugly. I feel like their character can be ugly, but not physicality wise. I would say I was a late bloomer in school. So I used to get picked on terribly for how I looked. I used to get picked on terribly for, how I would dress, and not having clothes, and not having the right clothes or the right shoes, or, how superficial sometimes kids can be. And those are learned behaviors, by the way. So I never really thought that modeling was something that was in my ballpark. I never really thought that it was possible for me until I began to put myself out there and just try and try and try on my own when I finally became an adult. And that was something that my mother recommended to me, that I, try to become a model. And again, coming from where I come from, East Atlanta, coming from, food stamps, EBT, all of that, I never really thought that that was something that was possible. And now here I am, which when I go back and look through what I've been through, everything that I went through, the timeline of my life, and I see that, wow, I really beat the odds. Even if I'm not where I want to be yet, that does not mean that I'm not going to get there. It's just a yet. And sometimes the wait takes longer when the blessing is greater. You may see people that start modeling, they immediately sign the contract, and they are, boom, booking campaigns, they're booking clients, they're booking brands, they're booking everything. And that just may not be your path. And that's okay. It doesn't make you any less important, doesn't make you any less beautiful, doesn't make them any less important or any less beautiful. That's just their path, and you have yours. So when it comes to the ideology of comparison and how comparison is the thief of joy, it truly is. Because when you focus and you have tunnel vision on where it is that you're going and what you want to do and your visions and your goals, you don't have time to compare yourself to other people. Only time that you would have for them is to clap and congratulate them. Especially, like I used to always hear, if God is blessing somebody that you know, or someone that you're close to, God is in your neighborhood and he's going to bless you next. You're literally up next. You just have to continue to be grateful, put in the work, put in the time, put in the dedication, and don't let the ability to not see the outcomes quickly as you want them to discourage you from continuing to keep putting the work in. Be attached to nothing and be connected to everything. Be connected to the creativity behind modeling. I'm deeply connected to fashion. I'm deeply connected to posing and just the art behind modeling, rather than just the vanity of having a pretty face or having a pretty body. Like, yeah, okay, whatever. But at the end of the day, even though modeling is a vain industry, I choose not to operate in that vanity. I choose to operate in creating expressing and just truly being myself in front of the camera. Now, does it play a part? Beauty play a part in modeling? Absolutely. But so does courage. So does your spirit. So does having gratitude. So does having a good heart. So does being a good person. Um, and yeah, I feel like once you take all of those things into consideration and begin to apply it to your own life, whether you're a model, whether you're in school or whatever it is, whether you're following your dreams, you just begin to understand that if it's something that you want to do, if this is your dream, if this is something that you really, really want to do, it's going to work out for you no matter what. It just may not be on your timing. And that's something that may be kind of hard to accept, but it's something that once you do accept it and you have peace with it, you can begin to move more confidently. So that's enough of my rant. I feel like I've talked and talked and talked. I'm probably sick of me. But anyways, yeah. What is it? What's today? Wednesday? Happy Wednesday. I will continue back with consistently posting real content and just documenting my life per usual. Bye, y'all.